The biggest catastrophe we've seen in sports about what this team could have been.
But what's the O-line? KYP, know your personnel? You got to know who you're getting involved with, your Kevin Durant.
But it gets to a certain point where enough is enough.
What did you think was going to happen when you two guys got together?
And everybody's using this word, how do you accommodate KD? They weren't worried about making it work for us. I'm not worried about accommodating Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. I'm worried about accommodating my franchise.
Sisters, we are ready to go. It feels like July 4th, part 2. Here on Keyshawn, Jay Will and Max. Jay Williams over here. Freddie coming in for the boys today on ESPN Radio, ESPN 2. Oh, well, we'll get to that in a couple of seconds.
Part 1 was a long day for me.
Yo, believe me. Let's just start there. Before we even talk about Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, their future destinations, we're going to do that in 10 minutes. But once again, I'm minding my own business at the Coleman family compound in Lawton, New York. I get this call about, a little bit after 6 o'clock last night. So Jay, Will, and I, we're going to do the show together, and we're talking over the show. And somehow, some way, the conversation leads to family barbecue, Jay Williams and his son just taking over the Jay Williams family barbecue.
I mean, everything was right about yesterday, as Key would say, right? It was right. You got spades going, perfect day.
Yeah.
Got the pool. We had people over. The drinks are flowing, good, grilling, barbecuing, good conversation.
Right.
And then my son woke up from his nap. Now, my son is Zane. He's about 15 months right now. Woke up from his nap, so my son came outside, and my son doesn't like anything on his face, but they gave him some shades, and he had some shades on. I'm like, okay. And the shades were staying on the face, right?
Right.
4th of July star shades, right?
Sure.
On the face. So I'm watching him. And my wife is like, he's changing them right at the pool. And my wife's like, you know what? Just go ahead, Zane. Just get out here running around naked. Son was running around naked the whole day. I got to tell you, it was the proudest moment of a father's life.
That's the part that made me
It's not about, like, if my son were to get drafted, okay. Go to an Ivy League school, okay. But him running around nude, everybody was like, oh, look at him. People would come to me, hey, look. This guy, he's well off. I'm like, well, that's my son. That's my son.
My boy.
That's my boy.
That's my boy.
Meanwhile, my daughter's out here. I'm like, hey, cover up. Put a towel on her.
Here's the deal with that. As girl dad,
I can't.
You cover up the chicken, but let the rooster run through the door.
He's just everywhere. I mean, it's all in the platters, the plates. I mean, he's just
my God,
climbing on everything. I'm just like, there we go.
My mom and dad
mark your territory,
looked
son.
at me like I had lost my rabbit behind mine because I'm dying laughing. And they're looking at me in the backyard going, what in the world is so funny? I get off the phone with you. I tell my mom and dad and my wife Denise this story. And my dad's sitting there going, well, I see where Jay Will's coming from.
It means something, Freddie. It means something.
It led to a total argument between my mom, my dad, and everything. Like, what do you mean you know where he's coming from? And they're bickering back and forth for about 5 minutes. I could not stop laughing when you told me that.
Here's what happens afterwards, and every guy knows this, right? So
Yeah.
do you have a secret hiding spot in your house?
Oh, everybody does where you just have to go and just be.
Okay, yeah, mine's the bathroom.
Right.
My toilet is my best friend. I mean, it's for every kind of I'll take conference calls from the bathroom. Like, why is that? I hear that echo. Don't worry about it. I'm just in a tight, confined space.
How much people see the look on James, Allen, and Pat's face when you just said that?
If you're married, you know this. If you have children, yes. Number 2, I am getting work done. I am on Twitter. I'm reading articles.
Number 2.
And I found myself in the bathroom constantly.
Yep.
Trying to find out, like, did it happen yet? Did a trade go down for KD, Kyrie?
Right.
Like, what happened here?
Right.
I found myself literally maybe 25 times a day.
Yeah, because you're held hostage, as we all are.
Yes.
And
another one.
And another one. And
My
another
wife's
one.
like, are you okay? Did the IBS come back? I'm like, yes.
Another one.
It's not good.
Number 2.
Like irritable bowel syndrome, really?
Yeah, it's not good.
We're finding more about Jay Will here on Keyshawn, Jay Will back to ESPN Radio.
Me and Yates, we can't.
Well,
hot dogs, all that.
Hold on. Yates is just different because Yates is just like it's a medical miracle that you're able to get up every day. Like, there's always something. You are the youngest,
That
oldest.
is true.
You are the youngest, oldest man I've ever seen in my life.
Man, the mornings are rough, especially when it's 4 a.m. It's cold.
Wait a minute. It's cold in July?
It ain't warm.
It's not cold in July. You don't live in Australia this time of year.
Maybe I have low iron. I don't know.
Maybe
When's the last time you've been in the sun, man?
Seriously.
You looking like me in January right now. I didn't get you in the sun, get you outside.
I'm like a sensual caramel. I don't. This
Wow.
red undertone.
Red
and
undertone.
stuff. You know what I mean? You know.
So
how
you
it goes.
burn quickly.
So
Okay,
in other words, you're sensual chocolate, not sexual chocolate. That's what you're
like
telling us right
Sicilian,
now.
You know, Sicilians get dark fast.
Right.
It's me.
Okay.
Me and my dad.
Just the opposite.
Right. So you weren't like. So you exactly.
Just the opposite.
So Alan was not looking at any updates, unlike
No.
me and you. Alan was worried about making sure he had enough melanin in his system for July to
Gotta
deal with
keep
it early in the
charged up,
morning.
man.
It was a great weekend.
It was a great weekend.
It was a great weekend.
It was. And we weren't held hostage because we knew nothing was going to happen. Even though we kept hearing rumors about Kevin Durant, what trade scenarios could happen with the Brooklyn Nets and where could he go and what kind of pieces can he get back, and Kyrie Irving and that whole potential reunion happening with him and LeBron James. Either way, it goes to show once again that celebrities matter and stars matter. And what stars are going to do or what's going to happen with these stars had everybody's attention. This is NFL-like, what we happened since Kevin Durant said to the Brooklyn Nets and Joe Tsai, the owner, get me out of here. And the owner said, okay, we're going to do everything we can to accommodate you.
Well, did you see what Joe Tsai, the owner, obviously one of the founders and executives of Alibaba, one of the owners of Brooklyn Nets, kind of reposted a tweet that said, culture over players any day, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I am always pro-player for the most part. I
Okay.
try to give it from the player's perspective.
Right.
But, if the goal one day is to be an owner of an NBA team, which I've talked about this openly, to be a president of an NBA team. At one juncture, you get to sit there and you get to say to yourself, if you're Sean Marks, if you're Joe Tsai, you're saying, okay, great. Thank you for your list, Kevin Durant. But I'm going to move you when I'm damn ready to move you.
Okay.
And that might not be until we get to training camp. That might not be until the middle of the season, because it's great that you gave me your list. I don't have to move you to any of these teams. I don't have to acquiesce to
Right.
your trade demand.
Sure.
You're under a contract for 4 years, which you and your agent signed up for. So what we're going to do is, thank you for your list once again, but whoever gives me the most assets in return, that's going to potentially be my trade partner. Now, Rudy Gobert just set the new market.
Wow.
All right.
Rudy Gobert.
5
Who knew?
first-round picks and 4 players.
That's
So now
ridiculous.
I'm looking at Kevin Durant saying, Rudy Gobert is good, multiple defensive player of the year, but he ain't nowhere close to Kevin Durant. He ain't nowhere close.
No doubt.
So I'm going to need more than 5 first-round picks and 4 players. I'm going to need more. So I'm looking at teams like Toronto. I think people are overlooking Toronto. Masai Ujiri, right? They're probably not going to give up Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year. But you have Pascal Siakam. You have OG Anunoby. You have Fred VanVleet. You have a slew of draft picks.
Yeah.
I can get a haul back in return
Sure.
from Toronto. But other situations, I don't know if that's going to work out. So I might just sit back and wait.
What did you think about, because I heard over the weekend, our man Mark Spears from Anscape, when he was on Myron Metcalf, as well as Gabe Neitzel over the week on ESPN Radio, he said about he throwing out the idea of Kevin Durant having a whole Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez reunion with the Golden State Warriors. And I'm driving along hearing this, and I literally put 2 feet on the brake when I said there's no bloody way
Can't.
that this is going to happen. And then you start hearing about, well, they've been conversations. They don't think a reunion is likely. I said the fact that that was even floated out there by Mark Spears led me to say that there's a little, not smoke. That's not where I'm going with that, Jay Will. But that I wonder how much of that was coming from KD's camp to say, yeah, and if they want me back, I might have to think about that. That's the last thing we need in our lives.
Well, we'll talk about it, but I'm just saying that can't happen. You could say whatever you want to say to me.
Sure.
Like, as a fan of basketball, for him to leave that situation and then this fall flat on his face like it did in Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
To go back to Stephen Curry. For a guy that's very engaged in the internet, there will be a lot of engagement
Oh, boy.
on the internet if that went down.
But not for nothing. I'll put you in the shoes of Steph, Clay, Steve Kerr, Draymond. Would you want him back after what went down the first time you guys were together? I'll put you in those shoes, Jay Will. Would you want him back?
We just won a world championship. Now, granted, I think we lost some of our bench guys like Gary Payton II, things of that sort. But I'm not jeopardizing the culture of our franchise right now, considering we have done it the way we want to do it. I'm looking at it, but I don't know if I'm willing to go all the way for it.
Certain guys are worth it. Certain situations may not be worth it, especially you had already gone through that. if you're
I
the Golden
just
State
don't know.
Warriors.
Like, I know the hooper I'm going to get.
Right. Oh,
What kind of
absolutely.
player off the court, engage with my teammates? Are you really buying into the culture?
Yeah.
What aspect of that am I going to get?
Yeah, well, you know what you're going to get. He left it the first time. He said, that's not what I wanted.
You know your passion. You just said left it.
He left
He
it.
left it.
He said, look it, I'm leaving.